I want to be somebody. And I'm not gonna do like everyone else does, the dramatic, rapid fire edits of every single successful person ever. I'm not gonna have some needle drop that makes music or uses music to elevate the scene or everything. I feel like that has, in a weird way, become so overused that when it was originally unique and interesting, it has become formulaic and overdone. I'm making this video because I spent the last 25, 24 days really thinking. From the ages of 8 till now, which is me, 23, 15 years, I have always had a desire to create, to do something, to be known. And I don't think it's from a source of ego. I think it really is just me wanting to leave my mark on the world in a way that's impactful and in a way that means something to other people. I want to do a lot of things. I like the idea of being a jack of all trades, but most importantly, I want to be somebody. I want to be known for horror, literary horror like Stephen King, or horror art pieces like Junji Ito. I want to make films that mean something to people like Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele, or Steven Spielberg. I want to make video games that also mean something to people. I want something to be impactful like Undertale or Mouthwashing or even Amori. I don't like the idea of years from now, in my 50s, looking back and realizing that everything stayed a dream. So there's a lot of stuff I want to do, a lot of stuff I need to do. And a lot of those are finally getting out of my comfort zone and being okay with imperfection, because imperfection is how you get the things made. Perfectionism is the killer of progress, as they say. I want to do a lot of stuff, and I'm planning to do a lot of stuff. Compared to most people, I don't spend January really starting things, right? I know a lot of people use January as the kickoff. I use January as the kind of like a gathering of everything that's happened in the previous year. Recontextualize and organize and get myself together so when February comes, I can start those things. Some of those things include I've spent the last month or so writing short film scripts. I've tried to start my game development journey again. I have developed like a lot of rudimentary games, if you will, quote unquote. I got basic mechanics, but I haven't finished anything, so that's one of my goals. I'm gonna write, try and get a manuscript out. I want to do more community events, do things in my city, in my community, meet like-minded people like myself, and just make some impact. I keep saying all this stuff. I must be clear, I am a hater of a lot of people and a lot of things. But one thing I do not want to be is a hater who has nothing to back that up. How can I critique a lot of these people if I do not make the same things? I want to be an ethical hater. I want to be able to critique something from a place that I have done it. That includes online things too. I want to dip my toes in analog horror again. I keep having the problem of starting it and then never finishing it because I get too ambitious. I want to relearn Blender. I use it now and then, but I'm not an animator by any means. But I want to get some rudimentary scenes and animations done. Just a lot of stuff. Like, I want to be somebody. And that doesn't mean in a pretentious way. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm walking down the street and everyone recognizes me. I want people to know me for my work and stuff. I want my work to speak for myself. There's a lot of things I want to do. A lot of them. I've already said them. But even more is making a YouTube channel, another YouTube channel, to do the community collaborations I want, to do comic dubs and stuff. Like, just a lot of stuff. Things that most people on the outside don't see as a big deal, but I do. Or, other people would make that their main niche. And that could be bad. Being overly ambitious can be a bad thing. I understand that, but that is something I want to do. But long story short, I'm making this video more as accountability for myself. You know, I want to next time, this year, or maybe later this year, who knows, look back at this video and see if I've done any of the things I said now. Accountability from myself and accountability from anyone who happens to watch, you know. Come back every few months or so, random person comments like, hey, did you do that thing? I hope I do. But yeah, I do want to post more on here just to kind of set some type of trail, if you will. Something I can look back in a few years and be like, oh yeah, I started in this bedroom. And from here, everything, you know, fell into place. I guess the last thing is probably a question like, why the mask? Most people nowadays are getting really comfortable showing their faces. This includes TikTok. I, for one, do not. Not just because of AI, but I feel like lookism is very important. Am I attractive? Hell no. But I do know how important appearances are. All you need to know is that I am black and I am female. Cis female. Those are important just because that is something to keep in mind with my work. Because I don't mind being seen like that, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't want you to support me just because, like, oh yeah, we gotta support black women, blah, blah, blah. But I do want that to be kept in mind when I make stuff, when I write stuff, when I produce stuff, because it is important to understand who the person is behind the scenes. Because yes, minor little rant before I close out, I'm a little bit tired of every time I look at things like up-and-coming filmmakers, up-and-coming analog horror series, indie games, etc. It's nothing but white dudes. Like, where is everybody else? That's my main thing. Where are other people? But yeah, I've talked for 7 minutes. I don't know who sat through all this. If you did, good job. But at the end of the day, that's really what it is. I just want to be somebody. I don't want it. I need to be somebody. And I am going to be somebody. So, see you guys on the other side.